locked in. Tell me that you locked in.
Yeah.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
Yeah. Cal.
You already committed.
We got a special guest coming up on in the next hour. My guy, Gavin Peters, offensive coordinator from the Carencro Bears. They just won the state championship, beating Edna Karr. I got to hold it down for the Tree 7. I told y'all each and every Sunday morning, it's 2021, we got to do things a little bit differently. You know, I had to go get a little hometown feel because 337, I want to say went undefeated in championship games. Now, you know, y'all know I'm from New Orleans, but y'all know there's not many ties other than the Purple Knights that I got back in New Orleans. You know, I'm forever a Cajun, and I don't even like the Saints. Y'all know this, though. But I got Gavin Peters, offensive coordinator, Carencro Exit 4 champion, state champion Bears, in-house right now, just to talk over the game, talk over Carencro Bear history. You know, I'm not an aficionado of the 337 history. I know y'all guys smoke in between the schools. I know how it be. So I had to go get my guy to come talk about this historical moment that hasn't happened since 1995, if I'm not mistaken.
92.
92.
Yes, sir. 1992.
And that's when Kevin Falk was the quarterback?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So how does it feel? Well, first, let's start about how Carencro literally stole you from Acadiana. Okay? So let's talk about there. So how did it feel leaving Acadiana going to Carencro back in summer 2018?
Yes, sir. It was in the summer 2018. It was very hard, man, to be honest with you. You know, I'll never forget the day I was sitting in my mom's living room, and former mentor of mine, guy that I worked with at Acadiana by the name of Dawson Durbin, who was also the defensive coordinator at Carencro in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So he sent me a text message. He said, give me a call when you get a chance. Got a job offer. I said, a job offer? Durb, what you talking about, man? So then I called him, and he said, man, he said, the Crow is interested in you. And I said, seriously? He said, yeah, Coach Mack about to call you right now, Coach Mack Barus, who's the head coach during the 90s and the 2000s. And, you know, they mentioned that they were interested in me, that Coach Corville was interested in bringing me over to Carencro. And I told him, give me a couple of days to kind of think about it a little bit. And I think Coach Corville might have – that was on like a Friday or a Saturday. It was like over Easter weekend. And I think I got a phone call or a text message from Coach Corville on that Monday. And it took a while, man. It took me about 2 months to make that decision final. You know, I had to confide in with a lot of people, my pastor, Pastor Nick Carroll from Our Savior's Church, some of my good friends, both in the bond that we share, Kappa Alpha Psi, some friends that I grew up with, man, my wife, my family. You know, that was a very, very hard decision, man. But, you know, it's paid off for me, and I thank God for that.
Now, I know you're entwined with those kids, and that connection with the kids make it so much harder to leave. What was one of the bright spots that Carencro had that kind of tipped over the scale of, okay, yes, this is going to be difficult, but I feel like this is my calling?
Well, I knew how much Coach Falk meant to the kids and how much Coach Falk meant to that community. And I know those kids needed somebody to come in and be a mentor to them and help them develop spiritually, socially, academically, and athletically, you know, and I think that was the biggest driving force. You know, I even told my guys at Acadiana, I said, listen, the reality of it is Acadiana High School is going to be fine with or without Gavin Peters. Acadiana High School was Acadiana High School before Gavin Peters, you know, even stepped foot on the campus. And I was just blessed and fortunate enough to fall into a good situation and be one of those people that just had to keep the wheels going, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, Carencro had been through, I think, 5 head coaches in the last 15 years around that time. You know, had experienced a lot of inconsistency, but a place with a lot of tradition, a place with a lot of support, a place with a lot of pride. And you know, I knew they had some good young kids. You know, we had – my last year at Acadiana was 2017. We had a really good freshman class. STM had a really good freshman class. Carencro had a really good freshman class. Like, all 3 of us had really, really special classes. And I remember saying to myself that, man, it's going to be some good football around here in 3 years. And did I know we were going to all win state championships? No, but I knew we all had a special class. And, you know, when Coach Falk, you know, decided to move on and go to LSU, I knew those kids needed somebody, you know, and I hated to see that community fail, and I hated to see those kids, you know what I'm saying, not have the opportunity to have someone to help them, aspire and help them, reach goals that they had set out for themselves. So it was really a big-time selfless decision, and something that I felt that, was more of an assignment for me, than anything.
And how was the conversations with Kevin Falk on when you got the position? Did he, give you his blessing? What kind of advice did he give you?
Absolutely. He gave me his blessing. I'll never forget, I gave him a phone call right after the state track meet because I had talked to him very briefly at the state track meet, kind of when I knew I was making my decision. I didn't quite tell him what was going on, but I knew inside, and he was one of the few people that I wanted to talk to, from that side. And we met at Buffalo Wild Wings after practice. And it was real hard on him at the time, man, because he was, going back and forth from Carencro to Baton Rouge, each and every day because he had just gotten a job at LSU. And I was just so thankful that he took the time out to, to meet with me and give me some advice, not only as a professional, but as a man,
right.
And he's been very supportive of me since the moment I stepped foot at Carencro, and I'm very grateful for that. And it's like,
I see the kids on Twitter, covering high school football. There's a lot of pride in Carencro. Like Exit 4, a lot of people don't know, will not put Exit 4 simultaneously with like a neighborhood, but it is its own neighborhood. It is its own culture.
Right.
They throw the fours.
That's right.
Can you speak on the culture that you kind of, I wouldn't say built, but kind of help navigate into the right direction with the Carencro Bears?
Man, the culture is strong and the culture is real. I heard Coach Napier say that in I think it might have been his pregame speech. He said, let's go out here and show these boys that the culture is real. And I kind of stole that,
Okay.
And that was one thing that I had been kind of telling, the guys within the locker room and within film and things of that nature, let them know that this culture that we're building over here is real. And I give a lot of respect to the guys that built the great tradition of Carencro High School that came before us, big time stress to the kids that, we're not only playing for the Bears next to us, we're playing for the Bears that come before us too, who have, put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to build this great tradition, and we owe them, the opportunity for us to be on top. And, opportunities are fleeting. They don't come when you want them to come. They come when they come. And we stress that big time to the kids, and we knew we had an opportunity to be special. Go out there the first week of the season and beat West Monroe at West Monroe, score 81 points in the quarterfinals, break a school record. Neville's been a thorn in this program's side for a long time. I think the only time we ever beat Neville within this program was 1992.
Wow.
In the state championship.
Get him off your back. Get that monkey off your back.
The opportunities to be special just kept coming up, and we preach that opportunities are fleeting. They don't come when you want them to come. They come when they come. And, man, we're so blessed and thankful, and I'm glad we seized that opportunity to be special. But it's real.
It's real. And, going against another program that I guess we would say since maybe 2010, Edna Karr has just been the staple of excellence in football in the state of Louisiana and in the city of New Orleans. When you first knew that y'all was going to play Edna Karr, what was the first thoughts that went through your head?
Man, I think it's kind of surreal. Naturally, we're a process-oriented program where we're always just focused, be where our feet are. Mm-hmm. So, the Friday we beat Neville, we were all excited and we were happy. But that next Saturday morning, we got right back to work, and we didn't really have much time to ponder on who we were playing. It was, let's get started. Let's get started with the breakdown. Let's get started with identifying the team and identifying their strengths and their weaknesses and how we're going to attack them, both offensively and defensively. But it was very surreal, man. I told Coach Bryce, we had a few conversations when we first matched up, and then we had a few conversations the night of the state championship game. I respect for those guys, and I even told my boys from Acadiana, Edna Karr don't get enough respect. They don't get enough respect for what they have done.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? In the city of New Orleans,
yeah.
All right, in the heart of New Orleans, okay, in the heart of Algiers, all right, they're an A school,
mm-hmm.
okay? You never hear anything negative about their program. You never hear anything negative about their school. They're self-made, they're homemade. A lot of guys on that staff, come from Karr. Man, I got a lot of respect, for what they have built and what they have done, man. 10 state championships in 11 years.
Yeah.
That's tough.
That's dominance.
That is unbelievable. I don't think any program has ever done that. I'm not quite sure it'll ever be done again. And they're still adding to that.
Yeah.
It's not like it's over.
And the coaching tree of the lineage is just remarkable.
That's right.
It's just, it's like a factory.
That's right. Yes, sir. It's a factory.
You coach at Karr, you're going to get a head coaching spot somewhere else.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And they've been fortunate to retain a lot of those guys, that was the good thing about Acadiana, too. One reason why Acadiana's had a lot of success is the consistency. Not only the consistency in scheme, but the consistency in voice. You follow what I'm saying? That goes back to what I was saying about Carencro had 5 head coaches and within like a 15-year span, there's not much consistency in voice. It's not that any voice is wrong or right, but you got to have consistency.
Right.
I think that's one part of being a great program, being a great business. Nike's Nike because it's been consistent. Adidas is Adidas because it's been consistent.
Right.
So what Karr has been able to do and hold on to that staff and hold on to that same voice for a long time, man, that's the recipe for success. And I got a lot of respect for those guys.
Now, it was like 2 heavyweight fighters. It wasn't the Tyson Roy Jones that we just witnessed a couple weeks ago, but going into it and then to have a scoreless first quarter, it kind of shocked a lot of people. So can you take us through the game at first? I know, the first drive they had a big interception that happened.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the progression of the game? Now, before we get to that, there's a lot of people that's upset about this offense that you're running. The split back veneer offense.
Split back veer. Yes, sir.
Now they upset you running this offense, confusing all these players. But we gonna get to that. So take us through that first quarter and it's scoreless.
Well, I got to give a lot of respect to Edna Karr defensively. I think that was one of the best defenses I've ever coached against. And I've only been coaching for 10 years. I haven't been doing it, but a lot of respect for those guys. Not only were they fundamentally sound, but they had what we call as coaches DNA. The size, the strength, the athletic ability, the speed, and then when you add that, with good fundamentals and good coaching and good principles, man, you got a chance to be scary. And we didn't execute a lot of things well in the first half. It was always one assignment that wasn't quite being executed right. But you got to give Karr a lot of credit for that. Because of their performance defensively, it caused a lot of those issues that we had. And we went into halftime, and we didn't make many adjustments. We didn't make many adjustments at all. My dad, when we were celebrating at the end, he said, "Man, y'all kind of came on the second half and changed the script." I said, "No, sir, we did what we do."
Okay.
We did what we always do. We just executed a little bit better, And we knew we kind of had to get some things going on that first drive, and I thought we executed well and kind of stole the momentum back. They kind of gained the momentum right there at the end of the second half, and I knew it was very important for us to come out on that first drive and put some points on the board. But the first half, man, was rough, man. It was stingy. I think it was stingy on both sides of the football. Our defense played pretty good. We kind of gave up 2 deep balls right before half that. It's not uncharacteristic of us because we've kind of been in those situations a little bit this year, and we've got to get better at that going forward, for us to take the next step defensively. But I was just happy that we were able to come out there in the second half and kind of flip the script. But that first half was a war. It was a war.
Yeah, the second half kicked off with Aaron Anderson and the LSU commit. We was talking off air. Is he everything that's advertised?
Yes, he's everything that's advertised and more. Okay, I've been watching that kid since he was a freshman. I think when he first got in the program, he was wearing number 83, and I knew from that moment that he was going to be a special football player. And he's got the perfect blend of speed and instincts. Speed is, as the old saying, speed kills. It kills. The way we kind of lined up to him in some of their formations. I was, when they were in trips open and we were kind of playing it a certain way, and I thought that the quick game would be tough, because of how we were lining up to it, man. They were still able to kind of execute the quick game, for 6, 7, 8 yards. And and I remember talking to Coach Lewis on the headset. I'm like, "Coach, how is that happening? How is that happening?" And then you get on there and you watch the film, and he's that guy's better. You know what I'm saying? He was just better. He executed better than we executed in a lot of situations, man. You just got to tip your hat in situations like that.
Now, again, like I said, I was watching from a choppy screen that was on Twitter. Like I said, the entire Carencro's out there. So if you cut on anybody's Facebook Live or Instagram Live, you watching the game.
Yeah.
And Williams, the UL commit, he got some burners on him.
Special kid, man. Special kid. You know how they say they don't make him like they used to.
Okay.
Him and Popcorn are both primary examples of that. Kendrell Williams has the perfect blend of size and strength and speed, but most importantly, toughness.
Okay.
He's not a guy that ever backed down from a challenge. His sophomore year, his first year ever wrestling, he was an individual wrestling state champion.
Whew.
Then he comes after wrestling as a sophomore and goes out there and wins the 400-meter state championship.
Oh, no, this is a man-child we're talking about.
I think he ran like a 48.9, okay? And that was as a sophomore. And then he closes out his career and wins the state championship, in football. And I'm not quite sure if that's ever been done before. And if it has been done, kudos to the kid or the individual that has done it. But he's a special kid, you know. And what I love most about Kendrell was that he would get frustrated with me, all right, when he felt like I wasn't coaching him enough.
Wow.
You know, he would do some things so well. You know, like, for instance, we'll go out there and we'll have a practice and he's doing everything well, and it ain't much to say. You know, good job, son. And then he'll come back at me, Coach, well, something wrong. I got to be doing, you know, he was so hard on himself, too hard on himself, you know, and you know, at halftime of the Neville game, I got in his butt pretty good in the weight room. You know, I thought that he kind of could have played better. But, you know, what was going on was that he's so hard on himself that sometimes he thinks a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just letting his instincts and his natural abilities just kind of take over and just play the game. And, you know, if you go back and watch the game, you'll see Popcorn kind of getting on him a little bit too. You know, if you go back and watch the live stream, and, you know, Pop had kind of got on him, and then Kendrell, right after Kendrell got on him, right after Popcorn got on Kendrell, 2 plays later, he scored that touchdown.
40-yarder.
Yes, sir. He scored that. And I'm going to be honest with you. Go back to the Neville game. I told you that I got in his butt pretty good. First play that he touched the ball, he went about 60, 70 yards. So that just goes to show you the type of kid that he was. You know, we always had that button on our side as coaches, you know, where we can push it, and we knew we were going to be able to take him to another level. Tremendous kid. You know, I wrote him a letter, you know, championship game, told him how much I appreciated him.
Wow.
And how, you know, it's crazy. I don't know how I'm a coach without him. You know, I mean, you know, it's you know, for the past 3 years, you know, I would always walk out on the practice field and I look out and I see 7 and 10. I'll be like, all right, I know we good. We good. We got 7 and 10 on our side, you know. So, man, what a special kid, man. Kendrell Williams, special kid, and special parents and a special family too. Because not only did we as coaches hold him to a high expectation, his family did. You know, I remember when we lost to Acadiana week 1 of his junior season, he cramped up real bad and didn't quite play in the second half. All right, and the next morning we were at film, and his brother called him, and it wasn't pretty.
Ooh.
All right, his brother called him, FaceTimed him. His brother plays at McNeese.
Okay.
Cordell Williams was a really good football player for Carencro a couple years ago, and it wasn't pretty, you know. So says a lot about that kid's family too.
Nah, because that's, you know, a coach can only do so much. A player has to do the rest, and the parents, once the player goes home. And, you know, there's a time that's the most crucial time of a player development is what he does at home.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Again, like you said, and then I was watching a clip of John Harbaugh talking to J.K. Dobbins after he fumbled, gave him the support he needed. The very next play he scored on a touchdown. Like you said, sometimes you just need to give the kid what he needs, and it's going to happen if they got that right heart in them.
That's right. That's right.
For my man Gavin Peters, offensive coordinator from the champion Carencro Bears.
If you locked in, tell me that you locked in.